Hey all, it's Linda. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, so this is kind of I would say like a sudden video idea. I saw another creator do this video and I immediately didn't want to do it but knew that I had to do it. Kelly Gooch is the one who I saw do this video, and she does a kind of 6-month check-in about her current makeup inventory. So this year is my very first low buy year and I've done a lot of declutters, but I really want to make my makeup collection something that is more curated, something that I really want to use all the pieces in it, because if it's going unused, there's no point to me keeping it, right? This could go on to a family or a friend, it could go on to like an entire family. I could support for just one eyeshadow palette a day. What the hell? But it could go to a family member, it could go to a friend, I could sell it and make a little bit of money back. Whatever it is, if it's in my collection, I want to be actively using it, or if I'm keeping it for like sentimental purposes or something like that, and I know I'm never going to use it, maybe there's a different place I can put it. Just basically, I know that I have a lot of makeup. So what I wanted to do is a makeup inventory. I am going to go over my different categories of makeup and let you know how many of that item I currently have in my collection. Hopefully my goal is that I'm going to check in down the road and maybe have a little bit less in almost every section. Now there are certain sections where I have like 2 items, so I don't feel the need to necessarily go a whole lot less on that. But for items where I have an obscene amount of them, there's no reason for that. And let me also just say, this video is not to shame anyone who has a larger collection than me. They could have a collection that's 10 times what I have. You do you. I genuinely don't care what you do with your collection, but for me, I want to really take a hard look at the amount of stuff that I have and whether or not I'm using it and getting joy out of it. And I'm not gonna lie, this was kind of a wake-up call. So in the beginning of the year, when I decided that I wanted to do a low buy, I did go ahead and I made a list of many of the makeup items that I had so that I could check it off as I was using it. But I found that the list was not working as well for me as it could have been, because I was forgetting to add new products to the list when they came in. And then when stuff would go out, I'd cross it off the list, but it wasn't balancing itself out correctly. So I'm hoping that this is a way I can hold myself accountable to really quelling my makeup collection just a little bit and, really only keeping the stuff that's incredibly bringing me joy. So we're going to go over these numbers. This is tough for me. Now, I'm not going to include every single number. I will include a lot though. So let's start with foundation. At the time of me filming this video, I currently have 14 foundations. That's not too bad to me considering that I do use them all. But if I'm being honest, some of those are probably past their expiration date and can go in the trash. But 14, I know it sounds like a lot, but I'm not that upset over it. Now, concealers and powders. I only have 2 concealers and 2 powders. And the concealers that I do have, one of them I don't even really like and could probably get rid of. Now, I do like my 2 powders that I currently have, but I don't think that those numbers are bad numbers at all. My concealer, when it runs out, I'm definitely going to need a new one. I always ask for this, but if you have a favorite concealer that is cruelty-free, that is no more than medium coverage, because I do not like full coverage, and is extremely creamy, please leave it in the comments down below, because I'm going to need something new soon. Now, primer, I split up into 2 different categories. So I did kind of like regular face and eye primers, ones that don't have any tint to it, ones that are just matte, ones that are just skin tone for me personally, and then also glowy bases and primers, because I consider that to be something different. That is where I consider to put like the Auric Glow Lust and the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. So as far as primers, I have 10. I don't think I need 10. I don't think I need that many at all. Now, I'm using up several of my eye primers like really quickly, but face primers too, like 10 seems like a lot to me for just a generic base primer. As far as glow bases or primers, I have 5. Now again, I don't think that that's a bad number, so I'm not too mad about that. I am using those regularly and I am switching those out, so that number might likely stay the same. Setting sprays. I have not purchased a setting spray in a very long time. I have 7 of them. 7. I use them all and I use them frequently. Like, not only do I use them in the morning to set my makeup, but I also use them throughout the day as like a refresher, or It gets very hot in this room that I'm in, and this is also my office where I work every day. So sometimes I will just grab one of those sprays and go to freaking town on my face. That sounds dirty. I do like to use them throughout the day to refresh my makeup or just to make myself feel better. So I'm not mad at that number either. Here's where we start getting to the numbers that, like, it's not that I'm embarrassed by them, but I look at it and I go, oh my God, that's a lot. So let's go with highlighters. Highlighters are one of my favorite makeup items ever. I just love the way highlighter looks. It's like the thing where as soon as I catch myself in the mirror and I see my highlighter, I'm like, ooh, ooh, I love it. I currently have 26. Now, if I have a highlighter palette, and I do have a few, I counted that as one highlighter, but I have 26 highlighters. 26, that includes liquid highlighters and powder highlighters. So I really feel like I can get that list down just a little bit. Maybe not in half or anything like that, but maybe even if I got it down to like 20. I know I'm not using all 26 highlighters. I know that with my heart, so I'm sure I can get that list down just like a little bit. Now bronzers, I only have 8, and I say only because why do you need 8 bronzers? But I have 8 bronzers, and I'm not too upset by that number, but I even know that I can quell some of those, that I can get some of those out of my collection. They're all good bronzers, but some of those can probably go. Okay, this is going to be kind of a hard one for me. So gel liners, I have 10 of them, 10. And I don't use gel liners as much as I should. So you might have seen I have a new video series that I'm calling Use It or Lose It, where I try to take these products that I've been hanging on to in my collection and actually use them. Because if I'm going to refuse to declutter them, they need to be used or they have to go. Gel liners are a big one that is probably going to be in every single video because as soon as I use them, I love them. I love them as bases. I love them as liner. I love gel liners, and actually they're all by Melt Cosmetics, all of them. And I don't understand why I don't use them more. I really, really need to. So that's one that's going to go probably down a little bit, or I just need to use them. Pencil liners, I have 24. Now that's just eye pencils. I can definitely get rid of probably half of that amount because I love the idea of using a really bright pencil liner, but I don't do it enough. I really don't. And if I use a bright pencil liner, I want it in my waterline. And the number of pencils that look good in the waterline compared to the number of pencils that like don't look good, like so few of them just don't go on the waterline. You'll try and they just disappear. Or maybe that's just my waterline. Maybe it's just my pencils. I need to get rid of the crappy ones, maybe invest in some good ones. So if you have bright colored eye pencils that you really like, leave them in the comments below, please, because I love the look of a bright, colorful waterline. But so many of my pencils, like I have so many NYX pencils, and they just go on, and I could sit there and do it 50 times and there will be no color. So leave me your suggestions in the comments down below. Hopefully I can get rid of the crap and bring in some quality. For liquid liner, now I included in this section regular old liquid liner, but also any stamps that I had. So for example, I have the Milk Makeup star and moon stamps, and I also have the Kaja wing stamp that makes it really easy to do a winged liner. So I included that. I have 9. I think I can purge a few of those. I maybe get it down to like 6 or so. I'm just trying to use all of them up because I'll admit none of my black liquid liners right now are my absolute favorite. So I'm just trying to get through the ones that are just okay so that I can buy a new one. Okay, let's just bite the bullet here. Let's do eyeshadow palettes. Now again, I am very well aware there are so many people with collections that are larger than this. I am so well aware that there are people with collections much, much smaller than this. But when I look at this number for the number of eyeshadow palettes I have, I feel a bit wasteful because I know I'm not using them all. I have 58 eyeshadow palettes currently. 58 palettes. Now that is a lot of eyeshadow. Think about it. If the average palette, let's say it has like 10 shades in it, like oh my God, I just can't even, that would be almost 600 eyeshadows. That's insane. That is so, I don't know. That number to me, I'm like, if I was using them all, fine. Absolutely fine. Let's do this. Let's put 58 eyeshadow palettes on my face at the same time. Like this video if you want to see that. That's not happening. I'm not going to be one of those people who does 100 layers of eyeshadow palettes. It's not my vibe. But if I was using all of those, that would be one thing. But I know in my heart I am not. So maybe some of those could go on to my friends, to my family, to my Mercari page where I sell my makeup. I don't know. That number really shocked me because I thought I've been doing a really good job with my eyeshadow palettes, and suddenly I don't have any more room. I don't have room. And single shadows, I have 37. And I have one palette where I've put a bunch of single shadows, but I also count like my Super Shock shadows, my Auric shadow, you know, things like that. And I think that that's a lot as well. And if I'm not using them, they need to go. I know I have a lot of MAC shadows, and considering that I have not purchased any MAC since 2017, they can just go, because if I'm looking for a great neutral, I'm not reaching for my MAC shadows anymore. I'm just not. I'm reaching for my Natasha Denona, my Charlotte Tilbury. I'm just not reaching for those old ass MAC shadows. I hold on to them for sentimental purposes because that was the brand, if I'm being honest, that made me fall in love with the idea of playing with makeup and having fun, but they are not a cruelty-free brand, and I no longer use non-cruelty-free products, so why am I keeping them? God, this is tough. I also have 14 liquid shadows. Now, I consider liquid shadows to be the ones that are like in, you know, the tube, and they usually have a doe foot applicator. I don't need 14 liquid eyeshadows. I don't. I could probably cut that collection easily in half. Easily in half, because while I really do enjoy them, like I really like the Ofra Bossy Eyes liquid shadows, I don't use them often enough to keep 14 of them. Oh my God, this really was a wake-up call. I highly suggest that you do this to your own collection, because it might be a wake-up call to you too. Or maybe you'll be like, my collection is so small, I have room for so much more. Now, as far as eyebrow products, I have 8 total. So I'm completely fine with that number, because that encapsulates pencils, wax, my brow gel. I have 2 different brow gels. That incorporates just a whole bunch of things. My brow marker, it's just all in one. I have only 8 products. I'm not mad about that. Mascara. Okay, so I also probably should have said that when I did these numbers, I did count anything that is in my backups. So I do have like a very small amount of backups that I have saved. For mascaras, I have 13, and 9 of them are open. 9. Now, mascara is the one thing that you really shouldn't mess around too much with the expiration date, and I know a bunch of those need to go. They need to go because you don't want to mess around with your eyes, right? You don't want to put them... And I have ones that are sitting in my backups that I've been waiting and dying to use, but I'm like, no, I've got to finish these other ones up first. If I was going by expiration dates, I could easily throw away, I'd probably say 5 to 6 of the 9 that are open. So I'm really hoping that the next time we do this check-in, that number will be much smaller. Here's one where I will admit it's a higher number than I expected, but I'm not getting rid of any of it, and that is glitter. So I have 29 glitters, and I also have 6 glitter adhesives. That number, the 6 glitter adhesives, that'll be cut easily in half because those are so old. Honestly, I should throw away all of them and get one new glitter adhesive. Let me know what your favorite one is. I do have NYX glitter primer, but I like a liquid glitter adhesive to use with just powder glitters, loose glitters, excuse me. So 29 glitters, but I really want to start using them more. And I'm probably saying this because I just started watching Euphoria, okay? I just started watching Euphoria, so suddenly I want very metallic makeup. I want rhinestones everywhere. I want glitter everywhere. So I am making a promise to myself to start using those more because I have already cut that glitter collection way, way down. And what's in my collection is what I love now. So I just want to make myself a promise to use those more. Lipsticks. This one really surprised me. This one really, really surprised me. I expected this number to be around 50. And I was going to say that 50 is so many. Now, I included bullet lipsticks and liquid lipsticks in this. I'll break those 2 numbers out for you. But I have 147 lipsticks. 147 lipsticks. That is an obscene amount to me, considering that I tend to reach for the same ones over and over again. I just don't understand why I have that many. And also, I know that I can't physically see them all in my lipstick drawer because my lipstick drawer has now tumbled into 3 different drawers because I have 147 of them. Now, that is 85 bullet lipsticks and 62 liquid lipsticks. these have to go. I think a big lipstick purge is coming soon, very soon. Let me know if you would like to see a lipstick purge. It's got to come, because there's no reason for me to have 147 lipsticks. That's a number again, I don't want to say I'm ashamed by it, but in my collection personally, there is no need for there to be that many. I have some that I know I haven't really used. They've got to go. And lip gloss, I have 32. 32. I genuinely thought that number was going to be closer to 10. And it is 32 lip glosses. That's another number that's going to be way smaller next time you see me, hands down, because I'm starting to get back into lip glosses. I love putting like a pop of color in the center of my lips now. By the way, this is the new Nomad glosses. Oh God, they're so good. They're so good. But I 32 lip glosses. No, not for me, not for my collection. I have 9 lip balms, and I'm going to keep probably almost all of them. I might get rid of like 1 or 2, but I'm fine with that. Those are things like lip treatments, like intensive lip treatments, lip scrubs, regular lip balms. I'm fine with that number. Lip pencils, I have 29. I actually don't mind that number, even though that's quite a lot, because I do use lip pencil every single solitary time I wear a lip product. I always do, but I know that I can get rid of probably 10 of those lip pencils and bring in 10 new ones that are a better quality. Like, I have a lot of really old ColourPop lip pencils that I do not like. I feel like they drag across my lips. I just don't want that anymore. And I know that, for example, I love Charlotte Tilbury lip pencils, so I could bring maybe some more of those in. So yeah, I think that's going to just be an exchange of quality. Now, there were a few categories where I didn't call them out here because the numbers were pretty small, like probably 5 or less. Things like the number of eyelashes, lash glue, glitter liner, shadow sticks, and contour palettes. I have 2 contour palettes that I still use, but I didn't include any of that. But the total number of makeup items currently in my collection is 536. Let me state for a 5th time, I know there are people who have triple that collection. I know there are people who have 10 items of makeup in their collection, but my collection currently is 536. I am hoping that the next time that we talk about my makeup inventory that it is less than that, because even just going over this, I saw so many items that I can purge in a declutter. I think there's going to be several massive declutters coming up, several, because it just needs to happen and it makes me feel better. Also, we are going to be moving in less than a year. Why not start now getting that makeup collection down? So, me and my Eddie Munson hairdo are pretty happy that we took inventory. And I want to thank Kelly Gooch for this makeup idea, because I have to admit it was really a wake-up call for me in this low-buy year where I'm trying to really have a collection that I absolutely love, where every single piece sparks joy. So that's it. I would highly suggest subscribing if you want to see me update this makeup inventory, and if you want to see those big, huge declutters that are coming up, because they're coming up soon. If you like this video, I would love if you give it a thumbs up or comment or share. Any way that you interact with my videos really helps out my channel. You all can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Those are all GlitterFallout. And if you are looking for quality kitten content, because I know that I keep getting messages of, where are the kittens? We just want to see the kittens. Go to TikTok, my friend. There's a whole lot of them over there. And as always and forever, you are super freaking rock stars. And I love you so much with my whole heart. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.